Happy Friday. It's the last Friday in the month of November, and December is already knocking in with full energy. And truly, this is something to be happy about. This is something to be grateful for, and even something to pause and reflect on. We have had a long year, a tough one, but look at us. We're still here, we're still standing, and we're still moving. Welcome to Ways Breakfast. This is the morning show where we try to make sense of the chaos happening in the country, spark real conversation, and try to also walk you through the stories that are shaping our society. Now tell me, how did your week go? Because if we are being honest, with everything happening across the country, Nigerians are just trying to understand what is happening, what can be prevented, and what tomorrow might even look like, because it seems like we are not even sure about the kind of news that we are going to wake up to the next morning. Lawmakers are even suggesting that maybe it is time for us to legalize guns to protect ourselves as Nigerians. So this morning we are asking, staying safe beyond guns, what other tactics can Nigerians use? It's a big topic, it is a necessary topic, and it is one that concerns every single person listening today. My name is Triumph Akimboye, and I am going to be doing this with Oluchi Omenka and Goodness Ideye. Good morning, my ladies.
Good morning.
I think I should start by saying that beyond everything that is happening right now, it's the end of the year already.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is something to be grateful for. So what are some of the things that you have been able to look at, January, February, November, December? What are the things that maybe you could share with us that, okay, I am grateful for this?
There are a number. If we start, are you sure we're going to end in the
That's
next
why I
2
said
minutes?
that maybe we should just do one.
So I'm just going to pick one that happened mid-year. Because starting the year, I had plans to be better with my career, get more gigs, just advance generally. But mid-year, it was really so unexpected because I was able to start something, start a foundation, an organization in that sense that is impact driven. And every time I look back to see what we've done, we've had 4 workshops so far after our launch in July. I ask myself, this was not in your plan in January. So you mean that even though sometimes the things that you have in mind might not actualize, might not look like there's way out of it, if you just stay true to your cause, stay true to the things that you really value, the doors will open. So it was really shocking for me that, wow, this was not in my plan at all in January. And mid-year July, we started something. We're already planning, my team members and I, for January next year. And, calling for volunteers. I just sat down and I'm really grateful. I know that next year will be much more better. And also, I'm not rigid with my planning because I can have a plan for January and then I'll be shocked again mid-year with something even bigger and better. So yes, I'm really grateful for everything.
I'm grateful for you.
It's how good I said, oh, to me. This one is always bullying me.
Well, for me, I would say this year started out in a negative way, though. I lost my dad this year. And hopefully, one of the projects, a very great milestone that I had in mind that, oh yes, we're going to achieve with the children. I was able to succeed with that, at least before this year runs out. I was able to get that particular project done. And as well, no, I wasn't. I know you want to ask me what project. I'll let you know, though. But it's just on a low key. Yeah,
I know the secret taste of
I feel somehow for not knowing.
You feel left out.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And as well, starting postgraduate courses.
Best in study.
Was not something I had actually planned for, but God brought
best in
a
reading.
very good,
Really?
That's
a very good giver. Who decided to fund.
Wow.
Thank God. That's beautiful.
Very grateful to God.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You've had a great year. So for me, when we talk about things to be grateful for, there are quite a number of things. But I must say that I've never seen a year like this before in my entire life of living, on this earth. This is the year that challenged me the most in my life. I mean, I have never seen a year like this. There were times in this year where I felt like this is the worst year ever. I'm having the worst experience ever. But you will not believe that in the middle of everything, I was also having the best year yet. I don't even know how to explain it. When you're going through a lot, and then when you decide to look away from the a lot, you are seeing that a lot of good things are happening to you beyond even the worst side. It's just like we are quick to talk about the negative things, the ones that are not good enough. But there was so much. let me even start mentioning some of the things that has
Why
happened
would you
to
not
me
mention? We
over
mention our
time,
own.
so that we are not going to
mention.
sleep
You see this
here.
triumph
Even if
and
it is
asleep
one.
Okay,
ways.
let me give it to you.
Give
Now,
us.
starting 2025, I carried my bags, I carried everything, and I said I'm relocating to Lagos. It was like, are you sure about this? If my mom had the chance, she would have said, you better sit down at home. Because how do you want to do it? How do you want to cope? I was not also, not like I had it all figured out, but I really know that God is always with me, right? And everything is going to turn out well. So relocating to Lagos, the whole... But one thing I'm grateful for, really, in this year is that I am grateful for men. I am grateful for people. See the gift of people. I can start mentioning the names of the people that I am grateful for because God literally used people to move my goals. There were some goals that I had this year that in between the year, towards the ending of the year, I did not even know I have achieved them. Things that felt very, very impossible at the end of last year. My financial goals, the money that I have never made before in my life, I made those kind of money this year. And beyond the finance, I am just so grateful. Like everything about me, maybe aside husband I didn't have this year.
Hey,
Next year, China is going to get one.
So let me
the
go
one
and line
that
up
is
for
leading the
next
way,
year.
na goodness.
But honestly, everything has just been very good for me. And I am very grateful to God. And I am also grateful for everybody that I have met this year. I think I also met my ladies this year. I met
It's funny how we connected this year because I've been
this
following
year.
Triumph, but in
And we met
2025.
in 2024.
Yeah, but we met physically.
And she's one of the people, I mean, beyond everything here on this table, Oluchi is one of the people that God actually decided to put inside my
What
life.
about me?
Hallelujah, somebody.
No,
You also have to talk about me as
yes,
well.
definitely. That's what I'm saying. That's beyond parallax. I mean, everybody in Upgrade TV, God sent them to me. But beyond that, I can't even start talking about some of those things here. So
Emotion.
I am just grateful for
Thank
men.
God for
You want to start crying?
No, I'm not gonna cry. I know we're gonna leave this segment soon, but I think we should even have more of this many times. Because looking at the papers, the bad news, the bad stories, if you don't reflect on the good things that you have, you will just lose them and you will not know that you have lost them. So we're really grateful. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord. All right, so let's take a moment to reflect on the significant events in the world. We will be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. What are your thoughts on this historical milestone? We would love to hear your insight and perspective. Also, what are the things that you are grateful for in this year? Because you're the main ingredient in all of our conversation. We would love to hear your thought on everything that we are talking about this morning. Now it is time for us to take a look at what is really making headline. Again, we are coming to fill you with what is really happening in the country right now. We are going to be taking a look at the Punch newspaper, the Guardian newspaper, and the Daily Times. And I am going to begin with Oluchi Omenka to take us through the Guardian news.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's head on to the Guardian. The major headline says, armed attacks intensify as Tinubu okays US-Nigeria security plan. How renewed terrorism exposes old and weak security underbelly. Reps vote on constitution review on December 10. IG claims 11,566 police officers withdrawn from VIPs and others intelligence policing. Remember, there was a statement decree from the president in that sense that these police officers be withdrawn from the VIP. So the IG is claiming that 11,000 plus have been withdrawn. That makes me question that, oh, so these VIPs had this great number
to secure their
even their wives in
lives.
this particular news.
Of course, they would have this number because the nation that you are even governing, the state you are governing is not safe, and you are aware of it. That's why you have this number. But let's see how much of an impact this would be in the security space. Moving away from that, democracy under strain as fresh coup hits West Africa and draws condemnation. Nigeria's transition to multi-tier electricity market attracts over $2 billion investment. And of course, I think that's all the stories that we have on the Guardian newspaper. But I'm not going to touch on any major story on the headline. I went into the paper proper and I saw a story that I think is quite interesting for us to discuss.
Give it to us now.
So it says LASG and EU ROLAC advocates for restorative justice for prison decongestion. Let me give you the details very quickly. The Lagos State Ministry of Justice, in partnership with the European Union, funded rule of law and anti-corruption program, has called on residents of the state to embrace restorative justice as part of the ongoing effort to decongest correctional centers and reduce the burden on the courts. So moving on to the statement that was made by Ajibola Ajimakinwa, that's the project coordinator. She said, we look forward to increased referrals from magistrate courts and even the police. Before now, justice was all about punishment and incarceration. Now we are saying that the victim and offender can come together, discuss what happened and its impact, and reach an agreement that ensures accountability while also addressing the victim's needs. She emphasized that restorative justice is humane and is an efficient alternative for minor offenses that do not require custodian sentencing, adding that wider adoption will significantly ease overcrowding in the correctional centers. You know, this just comes conveniently with what is going on in our country today. Crimes, insecurity, you know, people just crimes. That means crimes is like the headline of it. And then we're seeing some organizations coming up together to say, including the Ministry of Justice in partnership with, you know, another anti-corruption program, that we should start having these prisons decongested. I mean, looking at that statement, I said we should bring them together and discuss. It's almost like a round table discussion. You know this thing that they do, these town hall meetings. It gives me that vibe. So you want to bring criminals together, sit on a round table, discuss. Why did you commit this crime? What can be done better? Have you changed? How do we know you've changed? I'm just guessing that this will be what the conversation is about. And I'm looking at, okay, what's the intention of this? To just decongest the already overcrowded prison, which is a problem because when the prison is overcrowded, you're not even able to pay attention to all the prisoners. More crimes are even happening in the prison. Jonas, it's supposed to be a correctional center to get these people rewired to normalcy. So I'm looking at all of this and I think that there is more implication to it than just a press conference that was said. Is the intention good? Yes, because there are some people that are in prison for really minor crimes. Oh, I stole from this woman because I do not have the money, you know, to cater for my younger siblings. They need to go to school. There are cases like that. And sometimes when they go to courts, they don't get tried well and everything is rushed. Sometimes they're even in prison without trial. There are stories like that, right? So yes, maybe this would affect and address those kind of minor cases and issues. And if it's done properly, I think the effect, the impact rather, can be helpful. But if it is not, we might be pushing back criminals into the society, or I mean, just making things work, because people can also bribe your way. You know, some of these prisoners are rich people. They have rich people outside.
They have rich people.
If I want to get into that program, I could just bribe one of the guards and say, get me into this round table. Don't worry, I've changed. Do you understand? So we really need to look at a number of things and see how best.
What we had to what you're saying is the fact that this one that we have even started talking about, restorative justice, is not just happening with even these prisoners. You know, we talk about restorative justice for even bandits.
Terrorists.
I'm like, when did we even get to this? Is it that we are trying to embrace, you know, the Western culture? That's why we have gotten to the point where, because the society that I know before would really not be giving, you know, prisoners, bandits, criminals, the opportunity to come back into the society. while some of them have not even served their terms, but you are expecting them to get back into the society. So I am just wondering that who really, or what really started with saying that these bandits, these criminals can be given the opportunity to still live among people or to still come back into the society, that maybe they would probably be better. As much as we say that it is a good one, let us also not forget that, are you sure that you are not releasing people who are not yet repentant? People that you are releasing, are you sure they are not even going to cause more issues to the society? And beyond all of that, are we sure that, because sometimes you release some of this, the victims that experience this, they are still suffering from it. Now you are releasing them because they
there
are
should
repentant.
even be cases that should not get into the release book.
Honestly,
people like that are sexual assaulters. You can't.
they
don't
can't be in
repent.
the list. Don't repent.
We don't want
need
you
your
to repent. Stay there.
Repentance. Just hold your
I can be harsh
repentance.
when it comes to that one. Though. Don't
Life
repent.
is only one, so they just need to also look at the
Pedophile
environment.
repent.
They could also
We'll
repent.
stay that prison.
And also they might have the back end, so you can't tell. Maybe that's why they had to give them the opportunity to just, take a moment out for them to revisit what they've done in the past, or the negative thing they've done in the past, and give them the opportunity to live a better life.
Thank you, Oluchi. Let's hear from Goodness.
Now let's look at the Daily Times this morning, and the story says the Nigerian police withdraws 11,566 personnel from VIP protection. That was the story that Oluchi tweeted about on this table. And as well, we have AFDB, African Development Bank, approved $500 million loan for Nigeria's reform program. The Daily Times leads with insecurity, reps launch probe into non-functioning $460 million CCTV project. Wow. Then we have Tinubu names 9-man team to work with US to curb Nigeria's rising insecurity. And as well, we have lastly, Nigeria condemns Guinea-Bissau coup, demands immediate return to unconstitutional rule. So looking at the story that says Tinubu names 9-man team to work with the US to curb Nigeria's rising insecurity. So the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on Thursday, constituted a 9-man team and formally endorsed the Nigerian side of the US-Nigerian Joint Working Group to tackle the rising state of insecurity heightened by terrorist attacks, mass abduction for ransom, and horrendous killings. Basically, there was an inaugurated ad hoc committee that will investigate the rising insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory, and we have some lead-man committee that is part of this committee. We have Ribadu, who is going to be leading the US-Nigerian Joint Working Committee, and we have Tuga, we have Tunji Ojo, Abubakar, we have General Oluyede, and even Egbeto Kon also on the team. And my ladies, what do you have to say on this, right? The collaboration between the Nigeria and US to combat the insecurity, the mass abduction and killings in the country at this moment. And mind you, in your introduction, you even stated that, wow, we're getting closer to the new, to the end of the year, which of course we should be in the mood of celebration, not in the mood of being mourning or being sad and everything. But at this moment, it seems that this is what it is, right? Because as a last year or last 2 years, once it's November ending close to December, everybody's already in the spirit of Christmas, New Year.
It's
what am I
beginning
going
to
do?
look like Christmas.
But right now, we are
You've
talking
not
about
been saying
the
that.
insecurity in the country, mass abduction. As at yesterday or 2 days ago, there was also another kidnapping, another killing. What do you have to say about this? And the effort that Nigeria, I would say the effort, had made to have a joint collaboration with the US to see if there could be a way they could tackle this situation.
I mean, I was talking about it before we started, that as US President abandoned us, I thought they said that, but according to what they said, he was saying that what can we do in 2 months as regards, and by the time he said that, to this period that we have now, we've even had more cases. So it feels like the whole situation is getting out of hand. So the collaboration with Nigerian government and the US government is something that we need. In fact, I don't want it to only be the US government, because I feel like even I don't know the kind of help that we need right now. So calling on help from different governments is not really a bad idea. And I just want to hope that if they are giving their, their intake, I am sure that, their collaboration would include dialogue, would include maybe action, maybe sending or maybe funds, all those things. However, the point is that, are we going to see the results? Or we are not going to see the results? Because between the time, do you know that for some people would even say that the moment they interfered in what was going on in the country, it felt like the whole matter escalated out of our hands. That's some people's opinion about this situation, that why is it that it is until this moment? So I am really looking forward to the US government actually joining hands with Nigeria to actually help us in this situation that we are in.
But don't you ladies see this thing where that Nigeria is having an insecurity issue and Nigeria is interfering with what is going on in Guinea-Bissau because there was a coup that took place and they are demanding that Guinea-Bissau should immediately return to constitutional rule? Like, should that be their major focus, or they should just basically focus on what is currently happening?
It's a governmental thing. I think it's one thing with countries. In that interference is just supposed to happen, whether or not even the US that is interfering in our own matter. It's not like everything is all rosy. In their own, Trump that is interfering in our matter. The Ukraine, I remember on this table when Gosbiti and I were always talking Ukraine, Russia war and everything. Of course, he also had interference there, and also, I think generally, it's just a thing that happens to show that, oh, we're also a powerful system, we can also contribute. I know the whole EU, European Union, different unions, West African Union, ECOWAS, everything. So everybody is looking for a way they can prove, in that sense, that we are a working system or we are a working government. I think it's just an ego stuff.
And honestly,
just very, very, playfully saying, but I think that's what it is. And you've mentioned, the president has come out to assure us that they're tightening security across board. More troops, right? Troops. And everything. Let us now see the impact of it. Do you understand? And if at all, with the pressure that is being mounted on him, because I'm sure you cannot deny this pressure at this point, if we're able to see quantifiable results and lives are being preserved beyond what we've been hearing, I think maybe we wouldn't need this intervention.
What I wanted to say about this Guinea-Bissau is that let's not also forget that the federal government is still like the government of Nigeria. It is not just one thing. No matter how something is happening in the country, it is not just one thing they will be tending to. They have other responsibilities. So sometimes you might see it in the news that the federal government are doing this because they can't keep an ode to some of the things that should be done, because they need to grant access to some things, they need to get some things. The country has to keep running. The government has to keep running, regardless of whatever is happening in a part. They cannot also neglect some other parts.
But some things can take top priority.
Yes, of course. Like I want to believe that security is taking top priority, honestly. I want to believe. All right, so let's take a look at what is making headlines in the front page of, the Punch News. Most of the stories on the front page of the Daily Times actually highlighted the one that I have here and the one that Oluchi mentioned. So I'm just going to be talking about this and probably talk about maybe my own story of interest, maybe outside the Punch News. So the screaming headline we have here: Save Schools project stalls in 30 states as abductions rise. Right after this story, states fail to release co-funding. Senate begins probe of 145 billion naira Save School funds. This is coming from Ododo, confirms bandits relocation to Kogi. You know that Kogi had an attack that was yesterday. I saw the video. It was quite sad.
It was Niger. I think I saw another one.
Yeah, it happened.
Somebody even mentioned
there was
Abuja.
One that happened. Now I'm even losing count. I'm not able to follow because it feels like we're having...
It's back-to-back.
Back-to-back abductions. So this one is from Ododo, but I am sure about the one that happened in Kogi State because I still saw it just a few minutes ago. And above that, VIPs move to engage NSCDC after 11,000 policemen's recall. This is a story you would find in page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And above that, NNPCL spent 17.5 trillion naira securing fuel pipelines, others in 12 months. Interesting. Punch News, with everything that is going on. even joking. Because maybe that is what some people, that's the means of survival of some people, that if I am able to even afford some things,
Yes.
please, let's just leave people. Leave bed. I don't even want to
You know, there are
that.
conversations that have been put on a pause because of this insecurity thing. For example, the tax conversation.
Yeah.
I've been following some financial people, and everybody has been sensitizing. Are you ready for 2026? Small business owner, remote workers. I'm like, we've even forgotten this conversation because we're trying to just be safe. So I'm sure once this dies down, we'll resurrect these conversations of interest.
Honestly.
Again.
So I really hope, the federal government, all ends are on deck. Everybody's, every government, state, local, federal, all ends need to be on board at this point. If the federal government alone cannot do everything, everybody that needs to be responsible should do whatever it takes to get things done. And I saw, something that we are just going to talk about it and then we'll just end it. I saw a post yesterday about, somebody breaking the World Guinness record of banga soup. You've not seen it?
Which one be that one again?
Banga soup.
Banga soup, the largest pot, just like that Idabasi thing. Honestly, everybody was, because of course, everybody will drag you. You've not seen it.
I've not seen it.
You've
I'm
not
really
seen it
interested
too.
in the story.
Banga soup is
Nigerian.
in Warri, to be precise. The largest pot of banga soup, and people were drinking the soup. The soup was ready. I saw the soup, and I'm like, in the middle of everything that we are going through again, there is somebody breaking the record of banga soup.
Someone else.
All right, so that's all we have for you on the newspaper review. Let's go on a very short break right now, and when we return, we are going to get into our hot topic for this morning. Stay safe beyond guns. What are some other tactics that we can really use in this period? We will be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. It is time for us to talk about our topic this morning. Stay safe beyond guns. What are other tactics that all of us as Nigerians really need to use? So as we move into today's conversation, it is clear that, the talk around self-defense in Nigeria is no longer quiet. We see it with content, we see it with different posts, we see it with commentaries, tweets. Everybody is talking about it. It's becoming louder, it's becoming sharper, and more emotional by the day. Just yesterday, during a session at the National Assembly, members of the Senate raised a controversial suggestion. Maybe Nigeria should consider legalizing firearms for citizens. Their arguments that Nigerians have become so vulnerable, from farmers in rural communities to commuters in major cities, and that relying solely on the state for protection is no longer realistic. So we cannot be relying on the government alone anymore. Let everybody start carrying AK-47. And this sentiment hasn't stayed in Abuja. It has spilled into public conversations, radio, social media. Everybody's talking about it. And I also remember, Solomon Buchi talking about the fact that he also thinks that Nigerians, I think he even mentioned Christians then, that maybe everybody should really, really start protecting themselves with gun.
And then TikTok people.
Everybody is just talking about it. So now this is where it gets tricky. Because while some Nigerians are shouting, give everybody gun, jare, let criminals fear us too, others are genuinely frightened. I think I might be part of these people. Are we really ready for a country where anyone can own a weapon? I mean, look at how we drive, look at how we argue, look at how fast tempers rise. Let's not forget that we still have some small-level criminals, that they're even looking forward to getting guns. Do we truly want guns everywhere? And that brings us to the out of the conversation this morning. Do guns automatically equal safety? Or what measures should we even put in place beyond the weapons? And I am going to be doing this with my ladies.
Just for the laughs of it, I saw this video, you know this woman that just real worry picking. So she was doing a video on get ready with me to go, deliver my baby. And while she was packing the child's outfit and the things I needed, there was a toy gun.
Yes.
There, the comment was, this baby said, don't they ready for bandits? I'm like, what is all this? But it's a very funny conversation, I believe.
Because honestly, I'm like, when I listened, I'm like, so you mean some of our leaders actually believe that it is okay for everybody should start carrying guns?
Do you think that they intentionally brought that up? It's because the president already ordered that they should withdraw those armed forces, the police forces now.
So maybe they're the ones that need the
gun. To protect themselves, because they know that this case, angry Nigerians, if they see one senator outside, they misbehave.
If you say it from that point, it will make sense. Because I'm wondering that why will our leader be saying that? That's my own opinion, though. It might make sense to some other people that maybe we should truly start. But I am like, see the meeting that you people are having, and they are saying that leave all Nigerians with guns.
In fact, I'm already becoming very afraid, like Kiki said. But afraid in the sense of what happens when our leaders have meetings. Like, if leaders come together to have meetings, Nigerians should be behind the scene, hopeful that, a better initiative is coming. Oh, they're going to tackle this once and for all. You know, when we're growing up, if there's something happening in the house and then your father is having meetings with people, you're like, by the time daddy is done, we're expecting this. But our leaders went to have a meeting, and the highlight of your discussion is for us. Do you know what it just explains to me? That these people are actually using style to tell us how incapacitated they are. Because they're like, we can't save people anymore, let's not lie. So at this point, let everybody save themselves. And that sounds very funny. We can laugh about it, but why would that be an option? Other countries that have this, gun, what's it called? There's a particular word, gun allowance or licensing.
Yes.
The truth is, it's beyond just coming out to say you are just trying to open. You know when they say you're opening someone's boxers and showing your dirty underwear, that we are really incapacitated to handle this, and we're trying to even preserve the image that we have destroyed. Other nations are calling us disgrace, calling us country of concern, and you are putting up commentaries like this. You will just heap up more adjectives that makes your country, your legislation, your authority not make sense. And we don't need that. Guns. Do you know what having that stuff meant? Nigerians are different. You mentioned that we get angry anytime. Because sometimes Chinona and I were even laughing about the matter. Oh, you give somebody a gun, you annoy me, or you break my heart. Bam, I've wasted you.
Honestly.
The people that license gun, they have not even finished dealing with the effects of it. And this is a nation that is even more developed.
Yeah.
They have proper regulations. They have accountability processes, right? They even have trainings. Yet, they have still not curtailed the risk of it. We that don't even have any of that, coupled with the mindset that we're still trying to reorientate. You don't want to give us gun. Not some people will just be on the street, and it's not bandits.
Although, you know what, I even wanted to mention before you actually talked about the US government as regards the fact that, I mean, look at them, that they legalize all these weapons and all of that. The effects that they are grappling with that particular thing, they've not been able to see the end of it. Talk about even what happens with racism. The way they shoot people, everybody is just dying. Let's not even go there. And now we are bringing it to Nigeria. Something that our director said just now, he mentioned that you can imagine if you are inside traffic. You know the way in this Nigeria, don't even touch me. I'm already angry at all these bus drivers.
Me, I'm also always angry at people that are sitting beside me and you're trying to squeeze me. I can just bring one.
Well, what I was even considering is that we're not even looking at the effect on what will happen on our juvenile
the younger people.
I mean, yes, the younger people, because we have more juvenile criminal activities. Imagine the last time when we talked on this table concerning the students that were gambling. Now, if this should happen, meaning even the young ones who also won't have access to a gun. Despite that, okay, the parents might try to keep the gun away from them or everything, but you can't trust a Nigerian child. That's just the truth. Somewhere, they know where their father or their mother will keep this particular gun. And as they're going to school, maybe there's a particular teacher they really detest a lot. Just keep the gun inside their school bag or in their pockets. Go to school, shoot your principal.
Nonsense with you.
It's going to cause more harm than good.
Look at the bigger implication of it is that criminals will also adapt. Because these bandits and these terrorists, they are not fools. Though. They've shown us over time that they've got some wisdom. If you start giving people guns, obviously you can't give everyone gun, right? So they are not going to attack those ones that are without guns, or just even strengthen their own, what's it called? The resources that they have. They won't use gun again. They'll use the bigger ones that can waste the whole. So
maybe like
giving guns to save people is not the answer to the problem that we're dealing with. And I don't want us getting distracted and looking at. I told you now, TikTok doesn't make things easy. You see some people. I saw one video of a man. He was dressed as a priest in a Catholic church, and he was going to church. And then he had one AK-47, and then they were playing one song in the background, the fight of faith, the fight. I'm like, what is all of this? This is not what, we don't need any crews with this matter. It's a serious one. And beyond the fact that, oh, we need to protect ourselves and everything, we don't have the regulation, we don't have the accountability process, we don't even have the training. Do we even have the guns?
Can we have any of this? Do we even have money to afford the guns?
Staring in the heart of people.
Do you know that one of the things that I also thought about with this kind of, because I am wondering why this senator, he thought about it. Maybe he did not think about it before coming, because it did not look like it was scripted. Yes. Maybe if he had thought about it, if he had spoken to some of his PAs, assistants, or his wife at home, maybe they would have told him that, sir, this thing you're about to go and talk about. Because I was thinking about it. Imagine we have guns. Do you know that I witnessed something around Costain, and then I realized that we don't even respect or esteem some of these our police officers, naval officers, uniform officers as we are supposed to. I witnessed something that happened. She's a policewoman, and she was the only one. You needed to see how that driver, it was just a messy thing. And then I'm like, now imagine that we already have the situation where there is a limit to the way people actually esteem these people. Now they are the ones you are deploying to save them. And then you're now facing them with a bigger challenge of giving them firearms, giving them this, giving them that. And then they're also there facing each other. And we have seen in the news where we are even here to legalize firearms, and you would see these people coming against each other. You are seeing maybe a policeman against an Agbero in one area, and then we all know what eventually happens. So I think that if we are even thinking about the state of security and the people that we are hoping that maybe they are even going to do something, we might not be able to face them with...
Maybe they want to increase budgets.
The terror of...
Because which money do you want to use for the guns?
I could also have a solution for...
I mean, we are going to talk about the solutions, but let's even just look into all the problems that we are just having right now about legalizing the guns. But let's go on a short break right now. So when we come back, we are going to start talking about what should we even do. Like, for Triumph now, she's coming to work every morning. What can I even do to protect myself? My ladies will be telling us what I should do. So we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Welcome back to this conversation. We would really love to hear your thoughts, your insight, what you think about this, or some of the strategies, the tactics that you think Nigerians should use in the situation that we are in right now. You can send us a comment on our YouTube live at Official Upgrade TV. Now, my ladies have really mentioned, the bad side or the not so good side with we legalizing firearms like guns. So it is time for us to even look into some of the things that we can even start deploying. Like, let's even roll it out.
NYSC. There's this, what's it called? This safety guidelines they give to coppers that are traveling from one place or the other. There's one that always shocks me every time I read it. I'm like, Nigerian government. If you say we're government children, people really love us. I'll see one that says, in case you have been kidnapped, meaning that you want us to be kidnapped?
Be quiet.
Say, yes, be quiet. Quiet, pardon. Don't
Obey
resist
them.
and everything. I'm like, sir, this is not looking
they're just
very
planning that.
So I think you are standing in their stead now to give us precautionary measures.
NYSC, programs like NYSC now makes it very, very important. Because I think that, number one, this is a means to get like most Nigerians. Because some of those things, for example, I'm guilty. I did not do any of those, what do we call it? Any of those training, those man-war trainings that they do. I did not do anything.
Quite interesting.
I was always inside OBS whenever they were doing those trainings. I did not do it.
Yeah, leaking out the secrets.
So, I don't know.
No, that's what they do now. They use OBS, Red Cross to hide from training.
I don't even know any of those things. If anything is happening like this, I don't know where to run.
You already said coppers, they should remobilize them to
Yeah,
help
I
tackle
was even about
insecurity.
saying that.
You were tagging me. If I give you Shiko, don't be only
Well, that Shiko
remobilize
now is part of the training.
for bandits.
Yes, just give
Because
them
now,
Shiko.
I was saying it that because of this security states, let me talk about, I spoke with somebody who is in Kwara State yesterday, because I got a gig in Kwara State, but it was supposed to be on Saturday, so I would not be able to travel, determined and all of that. So I was looking for somebody to do that instead. It was like an hosting job. Now, the time for the event is between 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So all my ladies, because they needed a lady, and you know that for us ladies, we even need to be more careful and all of that. All of them, they can't because of the time. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. I mean, 10 p.m. here in Lagos, everybody is still outside.
Still buzzing
but over there,
because
because of the situation, the state of insecurity, she can't. One of them, she's even staying with her parents. I'm like, okay, you can take a ride. She said, this one is not even about ride. My parents are not even going to allow. And I understand. If I'm also, I would not allow you to go out 6 to 10 p.m. in this kind of situation. So what are some of the things? I'm going to just begin with Oluchi that you think that maybe we can start
to implement.
That each and everybody can do, right?
Yes, generally, we ought to have the capacity to be vigilant. People get distracted very easily, and people are careless. And if you check many security guidelines across, apart from NYSC, even when people are sensitizing other persons in new environment, they'll tell you be vigilant. But today, I think we're very distracted. And let me not even play this very much, because sometimes you can be very vigilant and then you will still find yourself in uncomfortable situation. But there are other times, too, that being vigilant have saved people from really scary situations. For example, let me bring it to Lagos and the things that I have noticed. There was a time I entered into a particular bus going from Iyanoworo, right? Going from Lekki here to Iyanoworo. And when I was in that bus, I noticed that this person passed a route, as they call it, that I wasn't familiar with. This was the first time I was flying this route. Apart from that, the people that he was speaking, they were not in those kind of places that you will find passengers waiting for you to be picked, like maybe that traffic light, Falomo, and all of that. So it was really strange place, almost like you had planned to pick them. Now, you can say maybe I was acting in paranoia, but I've read a lot of stories. I've heard a lot of incidents, and these things was just playing in my head that you need to leave this car now. And it was a private car. They've already warned me, do not enter private cars. Take public transport, no matter how uncomfortable it is, or at best, order a ride. If you cannot afford one, squeeze yourself with that woman and her 2 kids in the bus, right? Even though sometimes the buses are not always safe. So I remember that in the middle of the road, I didn't even know exactly where I was. I told the man that I was coming down. The man's face changed immediately. He was very uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm coming, I'm still paying you. And I was in front. I was ready to get out. Immediately I noticed that there was something wrong with this environment. I stopped pressing my phone. You know when that music you're listening to is not sounding again. I stopped it. So I think generally vigilance is something that we can employ. Now, if you take it to these areas that are high risk with the whole banditry stuff, maybe it doesn't apply because the students are supposed to expect that they're in a safe environment. So why should I, be overly vigilant? I would say that for schools this time around, some locations are not safe to actually have schools. I showed you, I wasn't you I showed the video, somebody else. This, there were ladies, students, they were running because they said, oh, bandits, Tiwa, I think it was in Kora also. They were wearing white and blue. I think it was a Muslim school. And I looked at that school environment. That place was like a bush. So in my mind, I'm like, this is already high. This is, what would I call it?
Eyebrow era.
Exactly. It is very prone to
For
such
bandits.
things. The truth is that criminals then, it takes a level of confidence for you to really operate in major places and in...
Very true. Because you would not find them in the capital
places.
city, for example.
Look at
the
Port
capital
Harcourt now.
city,
Even
for
hearing that
example.
gist about Port Harcourt, even though I have not really validated that story, but let's look at the gist face value. They said that they went to a particular city and none of them came back. And I'm like, PH is the bubbling city. One,
That's what I'm
PH has a
saying,
number
that-
of things. So it's possible that that can happen. So I think firstly for schools, and if I was a parent in that area, and I have a daughter or a child that attends a school that is secluded from the society, or you have to trek certain kilometers before you get to the school, there are not many schools around, I might have to withdraw you. I mean, desperate time calls for desperate measures, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know the school might be one of the best, or they tell you that schools should be in secluded areas so that the students can concentrate. You don't
have
need
a calm
noise
environment.
from the road and everything. But now, you really need that bubbling environment. So if anything's up, Nigerians now, once we sense one danger, they start running from the back. You can be able to start running ahead, whether or not you know what's happening. And as much as I'm giving all these illustrations, I know that it's easy to say. I'm not going to deny that. It's easy to say all of these things, right? Because the truth is, when these people want to perpetrate their evil, they're always very wise. They've calculated everything. They know how they want to perpetrate. But if we're not going to accept legalization of guns, our governments are not acting as promptly as we want them to, the things we can do, our own human effort that God can then, bless and protect and just help us, is to be vigilant. Move away from certain areas that you shouldn't move away from. Some bloggers have come out to tell us that this is not the time to be traveling by road. And I'm going to say this to my Eastern people. I know we like to go to village for Christmas. I traveled last December and there was no really high rate of insurgency. We couldn't take flight. We used bus, but I can tell you that it was a scary journey. I have been attacked by robbers before, coming from the east to Lagos. It was around Benin. They shot at our bus. They killed our driver. I have seen this real life. We hid in the bush for 4 hours because we ran out of the bus. It was a miracle that my dad and I are alive today. Do you understand? So I understand the pressure. Sometimes I'm traveling and I'm seeing father, mother, 3 children, the whole family in a bus.
Investment.
I'm like, this is risky. This is very risky. I'm not trying to be paranoid and just be, spreading fear all around. But this time, you don't have to travel. If it's possible, stay in your house and celebrate Christmas. If you need to call, do video call. Let everywhere be safe before you travel. I would really not encourage anyone to be on the road at these times. Because, again, during this Christmas period, the roads are jam-packed. They've not even fixed some of those roads, so you can see congestion in these areas. And these guys now, they're always ready. They're always at alert. They have informants. So, to be very careful, let us reduce it. Thank you.
I mean,
because you're ready. You told me to wrap up.
But you see, this being vigilant that I just spoke about is really, really key.
Yeah.
So there are some of us that by the time we are tired from the whole day and you're entering that ride, gone. So they tell you that you've gotten to your destination. No, one of the things that I've heard people say in Lagos that don't sleep inside that transport.
Even in Uber.
Open your eyes.
Both, all the hailing, what they call them.
I think I might have something to
you're going
say
to
that.
talk about,
my own solution. Well, it might not be as intelligent as the one on the chair has given us, yes. Because mine might be quite funny. I'm trying to enjoy myself even while on this table.
Let's have it.
All right, so first of all, I think since the legalization of the gun might not really go smoothly, one way out, the way you're giving me eye, we could decide to be wearing bulletproof as our dress Wear our clothes. I trust Nigerians. Nigerians know how to get something, do something. So you can like an hood, have a bulletproof.
Wait, bulletproof? Do you want
have
to
a
use where
bulletproof
bandits
necklace?
you like this?
It's not AK-47 in it. Wait, now let me finish. When you have bulletproof top, trouser, everything, no. That's kind of where they give a newborn baby that overall wear. Make it
your eyes
make it look make it look like a bulletproof everything, a face cover, bulletproof everything. Then in addition, you could have some juicy maybe object like a knife, anything in your pocket. Now put it in your pocket and everything. So once they shoot with the AK-47, it will not enter. When they come close to you, you use your hand and you get it.
Goodness. My mommy will always say something that in Yoruba, "Imoreda bokoshe tele." Your advice is good, but we cannot follow it.
That's my own suggestion, right? So if your instincts cannot work, if you know that you can't still prevent yourself from going out late in the
Hold
night,
on to some things,
and you are more like aside even the schools, there are some people that they stay in residential areas that are secluded. But maybe because they just built their house and that place is yet to be developed. So in those kind of places, I mean, you need to put so many things. You can even set trap. I mean, there's movies I will watch. You saw these Oyinbo people that they'll put some trap on the gun. And if you step on it, it will not blow. You get like all this bomb stuff that if you step on it, it's like a trap. You can't remove your leg. If you remove your leg,
I think I can't remember
it explodes. I can't recollect the name.
Landmine.
Landmine. So you can put that in place too. It's even a good idea. The government can also put that in place. Nigeria has money. Do you know how much we have?
With the government, I thought we were saying that, beyond the government. And so when you mentioned, some things, I think beyond knife, some good things that Nigerians can hold. You see this pepper spray? But it's just that my fear is that sometimes if you hold this thing, that's what I'm saying. So
the way they roll their head
and all of that. So if you are going to ask me that, what are some of the things that we need to do? I think this is time for some of us to, for people that have money to also start investing in some things to help Nigeria. You know that usually we have all these NGOs, people coming up to do some things. I think this is a time where we can have some means of tracking people but it might not really be the government helping us to do this, but people taking it up as their personal responsibility.
Our tech
bros, really, like, I think they are quota. We have enough fintech people.
We need people to start developing things that can help the intelligence
GPS tracker
agents
I
of
used
the
to watch all
security
these US movies that they put some things on your leg. It's not really obvious that there are some certain things, because we can say some of these things for personal, just you. But what if you people are in a group? What if it's not just you in that part? What if you people are a lot at that point in time? How can we really alert people on the outside to realize that some things are happening? And there's no, will not fall back to the government and some bodies. This is the time where every 111, what was that call line, to talk about the fact that you're not safe? I think that's 112. Which one is for emergency? I think 112. These emergency numbers should be available, so that when people are in their situation, they can easily call that, okay, there is a problem, there is a challenge here. I am saying this because you can never know. It is easy to talk about, but maybe it's the day you drop your pepper spray. That's when something will happen.
I even wanted to talk about when you were talking about the tracker. What about an instance where they are killing people at that moment?
That's what I'm saying, that before the whole thing, see, there is no smoke without a fire. That's what I'm saying, that location, this thing can happen through different means. The regular location, you're turning on your location on your gadgets. That's even for people that even have gadgets. There are also these people that have experienced all these attacks. Some of them don't even have all these gadgets.
Even those area network might not be.
The only thing they have is God's grace, timing, instinct, vigilance. Because when you talk of all these things, they don't have it.
And the last thing that I really want to talk about is we checking up on each other. Be your brother's keeper.
Yes.
Because you can never tell. Maybe leave that place that you are. Let me call you. Maybe instinct, like you said, leave that place that you are. Might just be what we save your neighbor.
Yes.
Let's leave this place. I don't think this place is okay. Might just be what we save somebody. Might just be what we save a community. Honestly, let us be our brother's keeper. We only have ourselves. This is not a time for us to be talking about tribalism, separation and all those things.
Even when they are throwing that card at us.
For each other. Honestly, let's talk about all these community, what do they call it? These vigilantes. this is the time for us to look out for each other.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
I think we have a comment on the
So
group.
let's read the comments that we have, because when we look out for each other, I really think that it will also be easy, because there are some people that might not be. Because I just realized that that woman in the video, the older woman, was not even captured. So there might be some people around. How do we alert that some things are happening in this kind of areas? So we really need to look after ourselves. So this is not even the time to be holding bad blood with your neighbor. So we have a comment. And the comment is from Chidozie Nwosu. I think the person is intelligent and well-articulated points on vigilance from Oluchi. Please, that clip should be cut out and shared on major platforms for sensitization purposes, which is very, very important. Because we need to hear this security matter is a very serious thing. I wish we even had more time to talk about this, but unfortunately, I say
after behind the scene, different things.
Unfortunately, we are going to wrap up now. But however, one thing is clear. Nigerians are tired of living in fear. Kidnapping should never be normal, and yet it persists. That's why we must keep asking the tough questions, demanding accountability, demanding security, and taking personal steps to stay safe. There is really little to what we can talk about, but with awareness, stronger community action, and better security, we can reclaim our streets. The conversation really does not end here. It continues in our homes, our communities. Speak to your family members, and in the choices we make every day. My name is Triumph Akimboye. Thank you for doing this with my co-anchors, Oluchi and Goodness. And on behalf of the Breakfast team, thank you so much for doing this with us. Till we see you again. Bye for now.